Salvo is already the oldest woman to cycle across the states. She started her Canadian journey in Tofino 2 weeks ago and is visiting peace monuments in every province, including the Peace Bridge.
My brother was shot down in Vietnam in 1970. He was never found. His wife was expecting, and so he never met his son, and his son never met his father. So that's always been a sad point for me. I want to do something to shift our spending priority from war to peace. A pedal stroke at a time, I got through that scary patch of the Pacific Rim Highway. Straight from the ferry, I cycled to the Peace Arch. The arch straddles a 3,000-mile border, the longest undefended border in the world. The last 3 miles were horrible. The trail was washed out. The mosquitoes bit me through my clothing. We were able to swap out like we did in 2016 in a matter of minutes. I climbed for 20 miles to Rogers Pass with grades up to 8%. The raw, majestic beauty pulled me all the way up. I was looking for the sign for Kicking Horse Pass, the highest point of the entire ride across Canada.
Is there a sign for the ride or for the top of the pass? Do you know?
At least my first provincial crossing was perfectly clear. Going up the pass, it got colder and colder, and then coming down, it was really freezing. I got all three in the same frame. I was invited to do a TV interview the next day in Calgary, 89 miles away.
For more on her trip, we've reached Lynn Salvo, where else? At Calgary's iconic Peace Bridge on the Bow River.
Though it's a beloved gathering place now, before it opened in 2012 it was quite controversial. The scenery changed dramatically as I transitioned into the prairie. Here we are in the Kinninvie rest area, and I just hit 1,000 miles. Woo-hoo! The first headwind day was also hot. I took refuge in the shadow of a roadside Alberta history sign. "140 miles, the longest ride I've ever done in a single day. Like Cinderella's pumpkin coach, my tailwind had its midnight. I was not so lucky the day I had to get to Moose Jaw for an appointment. The headwind was dead on my nose and so strong that I had to pedal every inch of this ride, even downhills, and it got more intense as the day wore on. Using every trick in the book other than cheating, I finally made it to Moose Jaw. The stained glass window features Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi, along with 4 other peacemakers. I learned that the next day's forecast was tailwind. I seized it. 139 miles, a nice steady tailwind, and it lasted the whole way to the end. It was wonderful. Early the next morning, I crossed into my fourth province, Manitoba. Red-winged blackbirds were my company for most of the prairie. We found ourselves in a thicket of very large, low-flying dragonflies. I got to chase a train.
4:15 in the afternoon. Lynn's on the highway.
Getting into Winnipeg the next day, I dodged some dicey city traffic. Before I found the trail, where I had to dodge a wedding party, duck under bridges, and where I lost my phone. I've come out of the prairie, and now I'm ascending onto the Canadian Shield. I'm starting to see road cuts in the granite, and a road cut improvement in progress. In an aerial view, this part of Canada looks like a sponge. It has hundreds of lakes. The ride for July 26 looked challenging but short. It got an upgrade.
We've got soap.
And I reached Ontario kilometer marker 1,000. That's 1,000 kilometers of Ontario shoulders I've survived. After a visit to the Wawa Goose, a challenging day lay ahead. 90 miles with 5,000 feet of climbing over 12 significant hills. The difficulty was mitigated by perfect weather, stunning beauty, cycling company, and another peace connection. It was also the second and last time I'd swim in Lake Superior on this trip, at Harmony Beach.
Every night I hope and pray a dream shoulder will come my way. A place to cycle in without RVs or trucks hassling me, 'cause I want a road called my own. I want a dream shoulder so I can cycle all alone. Let Lynn ride, dream shoulder, where are you? Without trucks hassling you, in a road that I can hold, without RVs try to control, because I want a road called my own. I want a dream shoulder so I can cycle all alone.
Near the Petawawa River, I reached the 3,000-mile mark. I finally left the province of Ontario when I cycled across the Chenot hydropower dam that straddles the Ottawa River. And voila! I was in Quebec. Can you feel my relief? is Earth. As far as we know, this is the only place there's life in the universe. And we kill each other, and we have wars. I mean, it totally doesn't make any sense. The Centennial Flame burns in front of the Peace Tower that was completed in 1920, replacing one that burned down in 1916. It was supposed to symbolize that we were done with war on Earth. I ached for a peace monument that was not also a memorial. The National Peacekeeping Monument came close. I think I was in cycling paradise. I got a glimpse of the bridge I'd be crossing to get to the south side of the St. Lawrence River. The state of the infrastructure gave me pause. I had never cycled a single inch of the entire Canada route before, so I could only imagine it. New Brunswick did not disappoint. The ride ended with crossing the Miramichi River Bridge, which was absolutely terrifying. I could not ride in the lane because there was no shoulder and there were huge trucks, just inches from me. I had a little cyclocross adventure. It was a dirt road with puddles, that were big enough that frogs lived in them. So as I went by, the frogs jumped into the little ponds. The Shediac Bridge delivered me to the Shediac monster lobster. In some unmarked place just before the Tidnish Bridge, I entered Nova Scotia, the final province of the ride. And before long, I was in Pugwash, world famous for peace. Instantly, I knew I found what I was looking for. We all felt it. At the lodge, peace was actually created and memorials prevented. Imagine investing in peace and diplomacy what we now spend on war and defense. No more flags at half-mast for loved ones lost in war. Stones marking gestures of kindness and good deeds just because. Bridges made of handshakes, hugs, and reaching across. And lasting peace written in the hearts of children. Now I'm on the final dash to the Atlantic Ocean. How lucky I was to meet Carrie, Venetia, and Sue at Thinker's Lodge. The next morning we all rode together to Tatamagouche. On the way, I reached the 4,000-mile mark. I cleaned my bike for the last time.
We're at the end of the Atlantic View Trail, ready to put our bike in the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, Connie's getting choked up too.
You can do it, Lynn!
Take a break. This is her there?
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Less than a mile!
Way less than a mile home.
We try to be as flexible as possible.
Look what shape she's into.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
69?
68 years old.
Yeah. Go, 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 go! Yay! Woohoo!
Fantastic.
Here she comes! Hey!
Fantastic.
Okay, let's do it. Dip that wheel in.
Water. You gonna go in the water with it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
go for it.
She dipped it in the Pacific, now she's gonna dip it in the Atlantic.
And so, I set my second Guinness World Record. But more importantly, I found a measure of peace with my brother's passing. And maybe somehow I've done something to prevent even one family from the trauma of the loss of a loved one in war.